Yeah, for more on this, let's welcome in Republican strategist Bobby Eberle and former special assistant to Donald Trump, Mark Lauder. Good morning to you both. Bobby, I'll start with you. Do you think Trump will replace Hegseth?
Well, I mean, the heat is building, and this is the problem, is that when he put the original lineup together and you started to hear names, it's really a power team, and a power team that's designed to shake up Washington, D.C. and shake up the deep state. And each of them, there was several lightning rods in the mix, if you will, like Tulsi Gabbard. But when they start coming at you over and over again, it's really a red flag. And the problem is here, the high-profile people that have withdrawn. You said Chad Chronister, Matt Gaetz. And so that gives more ammunition to some of those senators, I think, that wanted to take a stand, maybe even express a little ego, I think, is in some of the cases. Well, this gives them more ammunition. And so I know that there are people standing by Hegseth, and I know people have come out to dispel this New Yorker story, but the heat's really building, and if you become the story rather than the office that you're holding, it's not a good trend.
Yeah, Mark, so the Wall Street Journal reporting that now Trump is considering Ron DeSantis to possibly be the Secretary of Defense. But another name that's been floated around, and I like this name, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. Of course, she's a friend of the show as well. And as you know, she served in the Army a very long time during the Iraq War, served as a commanding officer. I think she would do a great job as the first female Secretary of Defense. What are your thoughts?
No, I think she'd be a great choice as well. And, you know, look, this would be a historic pick. I think that would be something that would intrigue the president-elect to be able to. He's already named the first female White House chief of staff ever, the youngest White House press secretary. To name the first female to be the Secretary of Defense, I think could be something that would be appealing to the president-elect. She's also very qualified. I want to stress that as well. But I think, you know, those are the kinds of, look, if he's got to pick between Ron DeSantis and Joni Ernst, what a great luxury of riches that you have, that you get to pick between these two great people. Again, that's assuming that he does not continue to go forward with Pete Hegseth or Pete removes himself from contention.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Bobby, I want to move on to this now. So the fallout of President Biden pardoning his son Hunter, it continues. And now the federal judge presiding over Hunter's criminal case for tax evasion bashed President Biden, claimed that charges were politically motivated, saying, quote, the Constitution provides the president with broad authority to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States. But nowhere does the Constitution give the president the authority to rewrite history. So it was the president's own Department of Justice who oversaw the investigation leading to the charges of Hunter. How guilty does this make Hunter and Joe Biden look?
Well, you know, it's really bad. It's a big indictment on the whole Biden crime family. And here's what's interesting is if he says that, you know, Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden over and over again said, hey, we will not do this. It's a non-starter. The answer is no. Yesterday it was no. Tomorrow it's no. And now all of a sudden it was a yes. So, but the reason was that things have changed. Circumstances have changed. There's corruption in the Justice Department. They're targeting Hunter Biden. So will he use this last month or month and a half to clean house and fire Merrick Garland? I mean, there's a lot that could be said to him, his legacy being to clean up his own Justice Department. So it's really hypocrisy and abuse of power on the Biden side. But it makes for an interesting story. And hopefully people will see that once again, the Democrats who run on representing the people only represent the powerful and the elite. And that's what this story really sums up.
Yeah, you make such a good point. And what we're hearing from so many Americans in the last 48 hours, Mark, is that they're upset that they were lied to time and time again. Joe Biden came out time and time again and said, I will not pardon my son. And then we heard KJP time and time again say he will not pardon his son. And then he does. But now the new narrative from Democrats is, well, let's not call it a lie. It's not like he lied to the. Yes, he did. And again, if you watched CNN last night, yeah, they're going with that same narrative. This isn't a lie. Take a listen.
Wasn't, to Scott's point, I mean, wasn't it a lie? I mean, you can defend it, but wasn't it a lie that he was not going to pardon him?
No, I believe the circumstances have changed. I think that we now have a president coming into office who's talking about firing squads, who's talking about running people around the country and making sure that everyone who's his enemy is going to be punished.
Mark, Scott Jennings' face is all of us right now. All of us made that exact same face. I love it.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, this is what they've been reduced to, though. I mean, they've lost rhetorical high ground. We all know it's a lie. It's not surprising. I think we talked about it on Monday morning. Look, these are the people who lied to us about inflation. They lied to us about the border. They lied to us about Hunter's laptop. And now they're lying to us about Hunter's pardon. I mean, there's really nothing they won't stoop to. And trying to blame Trump for this, I mean, give me a break. As we said earlier, there was politics involved. Hunter would already be in prison for all of the tax charges, including the ones they allowed the statute of limitations to expire on, or the gun charges if his last name weren't Biden.
Yeah, I mean, they're blaming Trump, but interesting, Bobby, what Chuck Todd had to say. He's basically blaming President Biden. Take a listen.
You want to get angry? You read the Hallie Biden transcript, and that's Bo's widow.
Yes.
And essentially, he turned her into a crack addict. And Joe Biden were so concerned about their family that they decided to run for president.
Yep.
So when you talk about the word selfish, it's almost like the word doesn't, their decision to run for president put the entire Democratic Party and the United States of America in the position that it's in now.
Interesting that he says that because, gosh, months ago, it was all about President Biden running. It was all about lies that Republicans were making up. I mean, all of this was misinformation. And here we are. Chuck Todd says he shouldn't have run for president.
Exactly. Well, the problem, here's the problem right here, is that the Democrats run on these high virtues. When we're talking issues, when the issues are the border and economy and crime, they run on, defending democracy and being of the people. And yet they stand on that, but they fall because they do not follow it. They abuse power. They subvert democracy by the way that Kamala Harris was installed. And to show that the Bidens were all about power, all about control, some of these Democrats, it's finally come through. It's like, maybe this is why we lost. And now in this post-election where they're kind of gnashing teeth and wailing and pointing fingers, out comes this. And yet another example of where they tried to blame Trump for being a dictator and abusing power, and the Democrats, their number one guy, shows it plain and simple. It really causes a lot of that reflection and introspection, and hopefully there's more of it because they have to relate to the American people or they're going to keep losing.
Yeah, this post-election autopsy has not been a pretty one for the Democrats. Mark, Bobby, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys this morning.
See you
Thanks
soon.
a lot.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.